My name is Rachel Miller. I am 32 years old and I am a single mother. I have two beautiful children, Leo and Mia. They are my whole world, but a few years ago, my world almost ended. I can still remember the feeling of the ring in my hand. It was cold and heavy. It was a large, extravagant diamond ring. It caught the light and sparkled in the dark room. My ex-husband, David, gave it to me on our wedding day. I thought it was a symbol of true love. I thought it meant forever, but memories can be lies. I looked at my sleeping children. The room was cold. We had no heater. We had no food in the kitchen. I felt a painful lump in my throat. A tear fell down my cheek and landed on the shiny diamond. I whispered to myself, I have to do this. I have to let the past go. I made a decision. I was going to sell my wedding ring. It was the only expensive thing I owned. I thought it would be a lifeline for my family. I had no idea that this simple choice would lead me into a nightmare. I had no idea that this ring was holding a dark, terrible secret. David vanished 3 years ago. He just packed a bag, walked out the door, and never came back. I wondered every day, why did he leave us? Was I not enough? My heart was broken, but I didn't have time to cry. I had to survive. My daily routine was exhausting. I woke up at 5 a.m. every morning. I made cheap oatmeal for the kids. I took 2 different buses to my job as a cleaner. My hands were always dry and cracked from the harsh chemicals. My back ached constantly, but I never gave up. I did it for Leo and Mia. Despite my hard work, the money was never enough. The bills kept coming. Then the red letters started arriving in the mail. They were from the bank. The word foreclosure was printed in bold, angry letters. It meant the bank was going to take our small house away. We were going to be homeless. I felt completely trapped. I thought, I am failing my children. I am a bad mother. I was drowning in fear. I couldn't sleep. I just stared at the ceiling, cold sweat on my forehead, listening to the clock ticking. That is when I remembered the ring. It sat in a dusty box in my closet. David told me it belonged to his grandmother. He said it was a rare antique. I thought, if I sell it, I can pay the bank. I can save our home. It felt like the perfect plan. The next morning, I walked into the city. The air was freezing. I held my coat tight. I stopped in front of the largest jewelry store in town. The windows were bright. The gold inside looked warm. I pushed the heavy glass door. A small silver bell rang. The store was very quiet. It smelled like expensive perfume and polish. My worn-out shoes made a soft sound on the thick carpet. A tall man in a dark suit walked over to me. He was the manager. He looked at my cheap coat. He looked at my messy hair. I pulled the small box from my pocket. I opened it. I want to sell this, I said quietly. The manager stopped. He stared at the ring. He did not speak. He took the ring carefully. He put a small magnifying glass to his eye. He examined the diamond. The silence was heavy. I heard the soft ticking of a wall clock. Then his face changed. His eyes grew wide. He looked at me, then back at the ring. He picked up his phone. He walked quickly to the back room. I stood there alone. I waited. Suddenly, I heard a loud sound. Click. I looked at the front door. The red security light was on. The door was locked. I was trapped inside. My stomach dropped. Something was very wrong. "Let me out!" I yelled, pulling on the locked door. My hands were shaking. The manager walked back to the front. He looked angry. "You are not going anywhere," he said sharply. "The police are on their way." "The police? Why?" I asked. My voice cracked. "I just want to sell my ring." "Your ring?" The manager laughed coldly. "That ring was reported stolen 10 years ago." I felt dizzy. The room started spinning. "Stolen? No, my husband gave it to me. It was his grandmother's." "Your husband is a thief," the manager said. "This is a custom piece. I made it myself. It was stolen from a woman named Martha Jenkins. We have been looking for it for a decade." Loud sirens filled the street. Red and blue lights flashed through the windows. 2 police officers rushed into the store. "Put your hands behind your back," the tall officer said. "Please, I didn't do anything," I cried. I felt cold metal handcuffs close around my wrists. "I have children at home. Please." "Where did you get this ring, ma'am?" the officer asked. "My ex-husband, David," I sobbed. "David Miller?" The officer looked at his notepad. "David Miller was married to Martha Jenkins 10 years ago. He stole all her money and her jewelry before he ran away." I stopped breathing. David was married before me. He was a criminal. My whole life with him was a lie. He betrayed his first wife, and now his betrayal was going to ruin my life too. 3 weeks later, I was sitting in a cold courtroom. This was my lowest moment, my darkest hour. The police charged me with possessing stolen property. Because the ring was worth so much money, I was facing 3 years in jail. I wore my only nice dress, but I felt tiny and useless. I looked at my shaking hands. My heart raced in my chest. "I am going to lose them," I whispered to myself. "I am going to lose Leo and Mia." I looked at the back of the courtroom. My sister was sitting there holding my 2 children. They looked so scared. They were crying. Seeing their tears felt like a knife in my chest. I wanted to hug them, but I couldn't move. The judge walked in. The room went silent. Then the doors opened again. An older woman walked in. She had silver hair and kind, sad eyes. She wore a simple blue coat. I knew who she was. She was Martha, the first wife, the woman David betrayed before me. She walked slowly to the front. She looked at David's name on the legal papers. Then she turned and looked at me. I closed my eyes. I expected her to hate me. I expected her to yell. "I am so sorry," I thought. I didn't know. I prepared myself for the worst. Martha did not yell. She did not look angry. She looked back at my crying children. Her eyes filled with tears. "Your Honor," Martha said. Her voice was soft but clear. "May I speak?" The judge nodded. "Go ahead, Mrs. Jenkins." "I have looked into Rachel's case," Martha said. "She did not steal from me. We are both victims of the same terrible man. She is just a mother trying to feed her children." I opened my eyes. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. "I want to drop all charges against her," Martha stated firmly. The judge looked surprised. "Are you sure, ma'am?" "I am absolutely sure," Martha replied. The judge hit his wooden hammer. Case dismissed. You are free to go, Mrs. Miller. I broke down. I cried loudly, covering my face with my hands. I was free. Outside the courtroom, I ran to Martha. "Thank you," I sobbed. "Thank you for saving my life." Martha smiled gently. She held my shaking hands. "You are not a criminal, Rachel. You are a survivor," she said. "The police offered a $5,000 reward for finding the ring. It is yours now. Pay your bank." "I can't take your money," I said. "Take it," she insisted. "And I own a bakery on 4th Street. We need a manager. Are you looking for a job?" I looked at this stranger who gave me my life back. Yes, I smiled through my tears. I would love that. 5 years later. I wake up early, but I don't feel tired anymore. I walk into Martha's bakery. The smell of fresh, warm bread fills the air. It smells like safety. It smells like home. Martha is like a grandmother to Leo and Mia now. We eat dinner together every Sunday. She is family, not by blood, but by choice and kindness. Sometimes I look back at that terrifying day in the jewelry store. I remember the fear and the cold sweat, but I also feel a strange sense of gratitude. David's betrayal was cruel. He left me with nothing but a stolen ring and a broken heart. He almost sent me to jail. But because of his lies, I found the truth. Because of his cruelty, I found Martha's kindness. I paid off my house with the reward money. My children are happy and healthy. We are not struggling anymore. I realize now that the worst thing that ever happened to me was actually a bridge. It was a painful, scary bridge, but it led me to a beautiful new life. I had to walk through the darkness to finally find the light. My friends, if you are listening to my story today, I want you to know that you are stronger than your hardest days. Life can be deeply unfair. Sometimes the people we trust the most will betray us. Like David betrayed me, you might face lies and broken promises. You might feel like you are trapped in a locked room, completely alone. But I want you to remember 3 very important lessons from my journey. First, the truth will always set you free. Even when the truth is terrifying, facing it is the only way to move forward. I had to face the reality of who my ex-husband was before I could heal. Second, out of deep darkness comes bright light. Your lowest moment might actually be the painful push you need toward a better life. If I had never tried to sell that ring, I would have never met Martha. I would still be trapped in my old struggling life. Third, true family is built on kindness, not just blood. You can choose your family. Look for the people who show you grace when you make mistakes. Look for the people who help you stand up when you fall down. Do not let the betrayals of your past ruin the hope of your future. Take a deep breath, keep moving forward, and trust that good things are coming. Now that we have reached the end of Rachel's journey, it is time for my favorite part of the video, hearing from you. Listening to stories is a great way to learn, but to truly improve your English, you have to use it. There is no better way to practice than by sharing your own thoughts and opinions. Do not worry about having perfect grammar. Just focus on expressing yourself. Take a deep breath, read the questions below, and share your thoughts in the comments. You can answer just one or all 3. If you were the jewelry store manager, what would you have done? Would you have locked the doors immediately like he did, or would you have asked Rachel for the truth first? Why? Martha chose to show kindness to Rachel, even though the ring belonged to her. Why do you think Martha did this instead of being angry? Have you ever chosen to forgive someone when it was difficult? David's terrible actions were painful, but they actually brought Rachel and Martha together to form a new family. Have you ever experienced a very bad situation that actually turned into a good one later? Also, comment yes below if you believe that kindness can change a person's life. Do not be shy. Write your answers down below. I read every single one of them, and your stories inspire me. If this story touched your heart, please hit the like button. It really helps this video reach people who might need a little bit of hope today. And if you want to keep improving your English while listening to real, emotional stories about life, love, and overcoming struggles, do not forget to subscribe to the channel. Thank you for spending your time here at the Escape English. Remember, no matter how hard today is, tomorrow is a new opportunity. Keep learning, keep hoping, and I will see you in the next story.